Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friend. Today, let's talk about solar eclipse. After quick mantras. Vyam Ved Vyasaya Namah Om Gurve Namah. Superb. So, this is a very interesting topic. 17th of February 2026, there will be a solar eclipse. Okay. And whatever I'm going to talk about, the entire credit goes to my Guru Pandit Ji Sanjay Rachi. Okay, as always. So what is a solar eclipse? Basically, the structure of this video will be, I'll speak with few of the interesting facts about or interesting things about solar eclipse, and then we'll straight away get into the ascendants. Specific takeaways for each ascendant. So first of all, what is a solar eclipse? So as you know that Earth rotates and revolves. So it revolves around the sun, and the moon revolves around the earth. So while on its revolutionary journey, when moon passes through between the earth and the sun, right, and align in a straight line, that's the time when solar eclipse takes place. So if this is a sun is very big from the earth, but because sun is very far from the earth, it appears as if the sun and the moon are of the same size. But in reality, as you know, sun is huge. So let's say this is the sun and this is earth, and moon is revolving around the earth. So if this is earth and this is sun, moon, while revolving around the earth, comes between the sun and the earth, right? Here's the moon. So that's the time when solar eclipse is taking place. Hey, that means at the time of solar eclipse, the moon is at the same side of the earth as that of the sun, because from earth's perspective, moon is coming here. So earth and the sun both are at the same side from earth's perspective. And that also tells us that moon and sun are relatively closer, because if moon is on this side of the earth, right, then moon is farther away from the sun. All right. So that tells me that if moon and sun are conjoined or together, in close proximity, it is a new moon day, Amavasya. That is the reason solar eclipse takes place on a new moon day, on Amavasya. So the next question is, if that's the case, Amavasya takes place every month, because when moon is revolving around the earth, right, every month there is Amavasya. After 15 days, there is a Purnima, and after every next 15 days, there is new moon or Amavasya. So then why solar eclipse is not taking place on every Amavasya or on every new moon day? The reason lies in the alignment. And moon is tilted at a different scale compared to earth. So when moon is revolving around the earth, the alignment among the earth and the sun and the moon are not always perfect. So when the alignment among the three, the earth and the sun and the moon, are perfect, that's the time solar eclipse takes place. So this leads to another question. We understood that, okay, on 17th of February, it is that Amavasya or that new moon when the alignment among the earth and the sun and the moon is perfect. That is the reason solar eclipse is taking place. So far, so good. But the next question is, what is the frequency? Roughly, can we actually look at a broad level of frequency that, okay, after this much of time, solar eclipse will take place, or it is random? See, if you understand these things, it will help you immensely. Okay, let's have an understanding around this quickly. Okay, so the frequency. Roughly the frequency, so we call it eclipse seasons. And roughly the frequency is about 6 months. Okay, so I'll tell you few historical things, data basically, that will give you absolute clarity. So in 2001, okay, when I'm saying solar eclipse takes place after roughly 6 months, it also gives us an indication that there can be about 2 solar eclipses in 1 year. About? All right. So let us have a quick look from 2001 to 2025 in fraction of few seconds. 2001 solar eclipse took place in June, and next was in December. So the first was in June and next was in December. If you count the months after June, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So 7th month, including June. If you count June, then 7 months. If you don't count June, then 6 months. So basically after 6 months, June and December. 2002, again, June and December. Okay. 2003, May and November. So the first took place 1 month earlier than June. The second took place 1 month earlier than December. See the linkage, synchronization. Okay. 2004, April and October. 2005, April and October. 2006, March and September. See the difference is 6 months constant. 2007, March and September. 2008, February and August. Interestingly, 2026 also the first solar eclipse is falling on February. So can we say that the second solar eclipse in 2026 will fall in August? You got it. You got it. 2009, January and July. 2010, 2011, January and July. 2012, 2013, May and November. 2014, April and October. 2015 and 2016, March and September. 2017 and 2018, February and August. Just like 2026. 2019, January and July. 2020 and 2021, June and December. 2022, 23 and 24, April and October. 2025, March and September. 2026, February and August. So now you know that February we will have the first solar eclipse for the year, and second solar eclipse will fall in the month of August. Date and etc. we'll get through. So basically 2008, 2017, 2018 and now in 2026 solar eclipse were or will be in February and August. Fantastic. Now you understand how many solar eclipses can take place in 1 year and what are the timelines for 2026. Fantastic. Now let's get into Jyotish. After astronomy, let's get into Jyotish. Are you going to be impacted? That is the question. So at the time of solar eclipse, what is solar eclipse? Sun. It is about sun, that the moon is coming between the earth and the sun. So moon is covering the sun. If an element comes between two objects, then one of the objects will get hidden, though the sun is bright. So in what proportion, up to what percentage moon can hide the sun temporarily, we'll get to understand as we get into further Jyotish aspects. But if that is the case, we have to understand the sign where this thing is happening. So on 17th of February, sun will be in Aquarius sign, right? Because mid-February, around 14th, 15th February, sun will move into Aquarius and will be there till about mid-March. You understand that. So it is happening in Aquarius, and because sun entered Aquarius couple of days back, and the moment any planet enters Aquarius, the planets gets into Dhanishta third pada, right? Up to 3 degree 20 minutes, it is Dhanishta third pada. But sun has crossed 3 degree 20 minutes because sun has entered Aquarius couple of days back, and sun moves about 1 degree every day. So if sun has crossed 3 degree 20 minutes in Dhanishta nakshatra, it means sun has been in Aquarius for more than 3 days. Got it? All right. So sun is in 4th pada of Dhanishta nakshatra. All right. So the question is, are you going to be impacted? If your moon is in Dhanishta nakshatra, 4th pada is really specifically, I'll say if your moon is in Dhanishta nakshatra, whether in 3rd pada, 4th pada, in that case, your moon will be in Aquarius. Or even if your moon is in 1st pada or 2nd pada of Dhanishta, your moon will be in Capricorn still. If your moon is in Dhanishta nakshatra, you are going to be impacted by solar eclipse. This is condition number 1. Second condition, if your moon, natal moon, when I'm saying if your moon, I am talking about your natal moon, moon in your natal horoscope. Second condition, if your moon is in Aquarius sign, so you can say also that you are Aquarius Rashi, Kumbh Rashi. then also you're going to get impacted. If you are Aquarius Lagna, your Lagna is Aquarius, your rising sign is Aquarius or Leo, because when we talk about Lagna or such analysis, it always works in axis, 1-7 axis, which is the 7th sign from Aquarius, Leo. So if your Lagna is Aquarius or Leo, you are going to be impacted by the upcoming solar eclipse. All right. Next, condition number 4th. If your Lagna Lord, your Lagna can be any Lagna from Aries to Pisces. And we have covered that if your Lagna is Aquarius and Leo, you are anyways going to get impacted by the solar eclipse. Let's say your Lagna is not Aquarius or not Leo, but one out of the remaining 10 Lagnas, remaining 10 rising signs. Then if your Lagna Lord, let's say your Lagna is Aries, your Lagna Lord is Mars. So if Mars is in Aquarius, if your Lagna Lord is, let's say, Cancer, your Lagna is Cancer, your Lagna Lord is Moon. So if your Moon is in Aquarius, then also you are going to get impacted by upcoming solar eclipse. All right. Next condition. If your name begins with a letter G, S or Sh, G as in, let's say, Gita, S as in Sejal, Sh as in Shailendra. Examples. If your name begins with any of these alphabets, G, S, Sh, you are going to get impacted by the upcoming solar eclipse timing. I am not saying on 17th of February. Please be attentive. I am saying, I am keeping it open at this point in time. I am saying you're going to get impacted by the upcoming solar eclipse. We are getting step by step. We'll reach to the timeline and we'll talk about the remedies for every ascendant, but step by step. All right, stay with me. We understood one tranche. Who is going to be impacted is in multiple tranches. This is the first tranche. Now, after this tranche, I'll briefly touch upon which areas of life, your life, are going to get impacted or influenced by this solar eclipse. Sun, I told you, on the date of solar eclipse is in 4th pada of Dhanishta Nakshatra. It is 4 degree 31 minutes to be precise. Okay. Moon, when it is new moon, moon has to be closer to the sun, not only in same sign and same nakshatra, in degrees and longitude also. So moon is at 3 degree 28 minutes, hand in hand. Dhanishta 4th pada with sun. It has to be there. After all, it is new moon. Is there any other planets closer to this sun and moon conjunction in Aquarius? You know that. You know that. But today we'll get to see it in a different way. All right. So let us talk about degrees closer to these sun and moon conjunction degrees, not randomly. All right. So the next planet closer to sun and moon conjunction in terms of degrees is Venus. Venus is also in Aquarius at 14 degrees 31 minutes. What is the distance in terms of longitude from sun? Sun is at 4 degree 31 minutes. Venus is 14 degree 31 minutes. So Venus is 10 degrees away from the sun. All right. But in the same sign, Aquarius. Any other planet in Aquarius? Yes, we have Rahu. 15 degree 26 minutes, about 11 degrees away from the sun. But remember, while sun and moon are here, Venus is here, sun, moon and Venus are moving forward. Rahu slightly away from sun, 11 degree, but coming towards the sun. You know, Rahu moves backward, retrograde motion. Keep that in mind. So Rahu is coming closer to the sun. All right, you know that. Any other planet? Mercury is also in Aquarius. So 5 planets, right? Mercury is 22 degrees 20 minutes, which is 18 degrees away from the sun. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Mercury is not combust. Mercury is not retrograde. Such a huge blessings, my friends. Such a huge blessings. And you will get to know why. All right. So the question was, which are the areas of your life going to get impacted? That was the question. Moon is closer to the sun. So your mindset, on Amavasya anyways we say, It is not a very auspicious day to carry out important activities, bearing some sadhanas and spiritual things and a couple of other things, right? But on a solar eclipse day, Amavasya on top of that, it's like already there were some problems happening and then problems get manifold or multiplied. On top of that, you have solar eclipse. So your mindset can get impacted, right? This is what? Because of moon. Then because of Venus, because Venus is in the same sign. Solar eclipse is going to impact the relationships. Which relationship can be different for each of the ascendant? That we'll understand when we'll talk about every ascendant. But currently we are looking at the areas, your mindset, your relationships. Then Rahu is also there in the same sign, though it is the sign, it's in the house of Rahu, Aquarius. Rahu is the lord of Aquarius. It tells that Rahu is powerful. On top of that, Rahu tries to eclipse the sun. Did you think like that? Did you think like that? It is a solar eclipse. Interestingly, Rahu eclipses the sun. That is what we have understood and learned so far. But this is a contradiction. While Rahu eclipses the sun, but this solar eclipse is not happening because when we say, yeah, it is happening because of the nodes. So the contradiction, the answer lies in that, yes, that Rahu, though it is the sign Aquarius, but actually they are the north and the south nodes of the moon. So when moon takes the revolution around the earth and comes in between the sun and the earth, basically it is the nodes which cause eclipse on the sun. So there is no contradiction. It is about the understanding. Nevertheless, the planet Rahu is also in Aquarius sign. So the area of life which is going to get impacted in addition to your mindset and relationship will be the way you are planning things. Now the planning in which area will be different for every ascendant. All right. Then Mercury is also there. Mercury is the significator of many things, but importantly, education, you can say. And to some extent, though Jupiter is the significator for money, but Mercury is also getting involved in that area at certain levels. So we can say, yes, finances, money, yeah. Mercury is associated with Kubera, Digpada. So money aspect comes from Mercury also, right? Mercury is the lord of Gemini. Talk about the marketplaces. You earn money from the market by going to place of work. So these are the areas which can get influenced during the or through the solar eclipse. Now, who else can get impacted? I spoke about few conditions, like if your Lagna is, let's say, Aquarius or Leo. You remember those few conditions. Now I am going to talk about something critical. We looked at the planets which are in Aquarius, right? Moon, Venus, Rahu and Mercury. And we understood the area is going to get impacted. But hey, there's another planet, Mars. Not in Aquarius, no. Capricorn. What is the degree? The degree of Mars is 25 degrees 24 minutes. So what? It's in Capricorn. Yeah. And Mars in Capricorn is exalted, very strong, very happy. Fair enough. I don't dispute that. But did you realize the distance between the Sun and the Mars? It is 9 degrees. The shortest distance. All the planets which are in Aquarius, the closest among them, barring Moon, because Moon is absolutely 1 degree away, it is conjunction new Moon. After that, there was Venus, which was 10 degrees away. Sun will be at 4 degrees 31 minutes, and Venus is 14 degrees 31 minutes, 10 degrees away. Venus is not combust. But Mars, though in a different sign, Capricorn, is at 25 degrees, 9 degrees away, and is combust. Did you see that? Mars is combust at the time of solar eclipse. So it is the Mars which will have its say adversely. Mars is exalted, right? A lot depends on the strength and dignity of Mars in your natal horoscope. I'm not disputing that. But the thing is, we looked at the areas of impact basis the planets in Aquarius, we cannot avoid Mars. Though Mars is in a different sign, but because Mars is combust. What is the meaning of combustion? That Sun, the planet is coming closer to the Sun and getting burned by the rays, the power, the light, the fire of the Sun. And what is solar eclipse? Somebody is trying to cast shadow on the Sun. Sun is not happy. Sun is feeling agitated, irritated. So in such irritation, if Sun was already combusting a planet and that planet is getting irritated, so the irritation will actually fall on the planet which was getting combusted. Are you with me? So the impact will be much more severe on Mars. So now, let me add few more conditions. Are you going to get impacted? You know the previous conditions? On top of that, people with Aries and Scorpio Lagna. Earlier I mentioned if you are Aquarius or Leo Lagna, you are going to get impacted by solar eclipse. Now I'm adding to that. If you are Aries Lagna, because Aries Lagna is lorded by Mars and Mars is getting impacted severely. So if you are Aries Lagna or Scorpio Lagna, you will be influenced by solar eclipse. That is one. Next condition, if in your natal horoscope, Mars is in your Lagna, you will be impacted by the solar eclipse. All right. Next condition, if you are running Mars Dasha, Mahadasha or Antardasha, don't need to look at the Pratyantar Dasha. Okay. First level, Dasha Bhukti, as you may refer it, some people. Otherwise, Mahadasha or Antardasha. If that is Mars, you will get impacted by the upcoming solar eclipse. So far, so good. Let me add one more layer of complexity. Who else can get impacted? Few other conditions. So because the eclipse is going to take place on 17th of February. Credit goes to my Guruji, Pandit Shri Sanjay Raji, as always, for teaching me all this. So the condition is, as the eclipse is going to take place, solar eclipse, on 17th of February 2026. So if you are born on 14th of February till about 20th of February of any year. So if your birth date falls between both the days inclusive, 14th of February till 20th of February, this solar eclipse is going to impact you. Let me add one more condition. This is about the month, the solar month, Sankranti to Sankranti. So if you are born between 13th of February to 15th of March of any year, you will be impacted. Why? Because 13th of February was the date when Kumbha Sankranti took place, when Sun entered into Aquarius. And 15th of March is the date when Sun will exit Kumbha, Aquarius and get into Pisces, Meena Sankranti. The intensity will be different. If you're born between 13th of February to about 20th of February, from 14th of February till 20th of February, that intensity and the influence is different. But if you're born between 13th February to 15th March, the intensity and impact will be different. The closer you are, the more intensity will be there. You understand that? All right, so far so good. When I'm talking about intensity will be different. So shall I speak about the intensity? What kind of difference can be there? So far we understood that who are the people who can get impacted. Not everybody need to worry. That is the point. Not everybody need to worry. Only the people who are going to get impacted should think about it and should try to do some remedy. Yeah? We'll see all that when we get into ascendants. But before that, how do we find out the intensity? People who are getting impacted, should they really be worried? How intense the impact can be? To understand that, quickly we should understand the types of solar eclipse. Okay, and that depends upon the distance between the Earth and the Moon. So remember the analogy I mentioned. This was the Sun and this is Earth. Now the Moon is revolving around the Earth. Sun is very far, huge, but appears smaller because of the distance. Whereas the distance, if Moon is closer to the Earth, let's say, while its evolution, if Moon is closer to the Earth, the Moon will appear slightly bigger or sometimes equal to the size of the sun. But if moon is smaller to the earth in revolution, moon is smaller comparatively. If it is closer, it will appear bigger. If it is smaller, while in revolution, it will appear smaller. So then moon will appear smaller compared to the size of the sun. All right. So if moon is closer during its revolution around the earth, it will appear bigger comparatively. So it will appear as if it is equal in size to the sun. Equal. When it is absolutely equal, and when they are in perfect alignment, all three, the earth, the sun and the moon, they are in perfect alignment. The moon is appearing just equal to the size of the sun. So it will completely cover the sun. That's the total solar eclipse. Total. And that time, my friend, sun will be extremely irritated. Total darkness for the sun. Sun will feel like, oh my goodness, I am the radiant one. I provide light to everybody. I illuminate this globe, this universe. I am being put into darkness. I am being put into captivity. No. I am not liking it. Sun is irritated. That is the total solar eclipse. Example 2. Now, sun, forget size in the second example. I'm saying sun is here, so moon is revolving around the earth. Now, in this case, alignment is there, but moon is not passing just over the sun. It cannot completely cover. It is passing off center. So in the first example, total lunar solar eclipse, if this was the sun, moon was passing exactly over the sun, completely covering. But in second example, moon is passing slightly off center. It is not exactly in front of, slightly off center. So there is a kind of a crescent shape which is visible. Crescent, like we say crescent moon, a crescent shape of the sun is still visible. So let's say moon is covering about 75% portion of the sun. Remaining 25% of portion, crescent shape of the sun is visible. That is partial solar eclipse. The sun is still angry, but not as angry as it was in total solar eclipse. Because in partial solar eclipse, the sun can have certain light. Sun feels, okay, at least I have portion to vent out my frustration. I can still illuminate a portion. Okay, third example. The moon is covering in front of the sun, but moon is very far from the sun, far from the earth, excuse me. So if this was the sun, moon is taking a revolution around the earth. Moon is very far, closer to the sun, but further away from the earth. So then the size of the moon will appear smaller. So though moon is exactly in front of the sun, but because the size of the moon is appearing smaller, so it is like there is a big circle, sun, and smaller circle within that big circle. So if there's a big circle and a smaller circle coming within the big circle, so there will be an illumination circle which will be visible of the sun. So the smaller circle will be dark by moon, but the certain portion around that smaller circle will be visible. That is called the ring of fire. That is the annular solar eclipse, because a ring of fire is visible. That is what is going to take place on 17th of February, annular solar eclipse. It is not partial, it is not total, it is annular. All right, so far so good. So that is the difference. Now, because it is annular, sun is angry. In total solar eclipse, sun was absolutely angry. It had no place to vent out its light of frustration. In partial solar eclipse, sun was comparatively lesser angry. It has some portion, that crescent side of it, from where it could release its fire. In annular solar eclipse, when there is a portion in the entire circle for the sun to throw light in all directions, sun says, okay, I am bubbling from within, I am being curtailed or restrained. Still, I can throw out my light radiance from every corner in smaller proportion. Fine, this is my karma or my destiny. Let me pass through it. Sun is irritated but relatively calmer. Did you get that? Because this is the base to understand the intensity of solar eclipse. People who are smart enough would have understood by now that because 17th of February 2026, we are going to have an annular solar eclipse where sun can release its irritation or through firepower from all the direction in small proportions, so it is not that agitated. So the intensity will be curtailed, calm manner. There will be impact to all those people which we know by now, right? But there will be impact, but it will be in a curtailed way. So you don't need to worry beyond a point. Now, let us quickly talk about the visibility. That's very important. We understood people who are going to get impacted. We understood the intensity of the impact. Visibility becomes very important. Because if it is not going to be visible, the impact and the intensity will come down further. You know that? Is it visible? It is visible. Where is it visible exactly? Very few places. For example, in South America, Chile and Argentina, it will be visible. In Africa, DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia, and Angola. 3 places it will be visible. Barring this, you talk about the Asia, talk about North America, the other cities of South America, barring Chile and Argentina, the other cities of Africa, Australia, New Zealand, it's not visible. Europe, not visible. If it is not visible, the intensity will be further curtailed. So, you can imagine, should not play it overtly. This is under control, but it is solar eclipse, but under control. So intensity and impact will be there, but it will not really trouble or completely put your life into different quarters. No. But what if I tell you? Because now this is February and next solar eclipse will be there in which month? August 2026. You know that? That is going to fall on 12th of August 2026. And that is going to be a total solar eclipse. So you can imagine something big coming in the month of August for the world, because that is going to be the total solar eclipse. All right, fair enough. Now, what to do and what not to do for people who are going to get impacted? Hey, before that, shall we also look at the timings? Because unless we understand the timings, we have the understanding of intensity, who are going to get impacted, but what are the timings? Those timings are the key. And from internet that a partial solar eclipse will begin. Partial, I'm saying because within annular, there is levels of, eclipse. Every eclipse, annular, it will begin with partial, then it will get into annular portion. It cannot straightaway come in the middle of the sun. So the moon will gradually start to enter into sun, in front of sun. If this is sun, this is moving. It will gradually, first it will enter into sun's territory, it will move, then it will come into the center. Then it will take the form of annular. Till it takes the shape of annular ring, it is gradually getting into that sun's territory. Till that time it is partial. The moment it starts to hit sun's territory, we call it partial. So the partial solar eclipse will begin at 9:56 UTC, Coordinated Universal Time. It is slightly better measurement than GMT. You can say GMT and UTC are same for simple layman language, right? 9:56 AM. Now this is very interesting. We understand IST is 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of GMT or UTC. So for IST it will be 3:26 PM afternoon. That's easy. There's no big secret about it. 3:26 partial solar eclipse will begin. But we are talking about Jyotish, my friend. We cannot leave it like that. We have to understand what. See, at one side we say it is happening on Amavasya. So, we know that, yeah. Amavasya means moon and sun are closer. So, sun is in Aquarius. Moon is also in Aquarius. We know that. But my friend, what if I tell you? Moon is entering into Aquarius at 9:05 AM. 9:05 AM. Moon entered into Aquarius and sun is already there. So Amavasya begins. Amavasya begins. But partial solar eclipse is beginning at 3:26 PM. What's happening? If moon entered into Aquarius at 9:05 PM, Amavasya begins at sunrise already. Why this solar eclipse is not beginning with as the moment the moon is entering into Aquarius? But it is beginning after 6 hours 30 minutes. Shall I tell the secret? The secret lies, it is beginning after one pada. Nakshatra has 4 padas. So when moon is entering into Aquarius, it is entering into Dhanishta 3rd pada. Remember that? And the sun is in Dhanishta 4th pada, 4 degree 31 minutes. It has crossed 3 degree 20 minutes. So the moon will cross that pada, 3 degree 20 minutes, in about 6 hours 30 minutes. And after that, the partial solar eclipse will begin at 3:26 p.m. IST. You can calculate for the rest of the world basis the time. Okay. And interestingly, the phase then the annular solar eclipse, the ring of fire will be visible, will be about 1 hour 46 minutes. Maximum eclipse will be about 30 minutes. And partial eclipse and that phase will be about 2 hours 15 minutes. So why I'm telling you all these timings, is it relevant for you? Just to give you the impression, the total timeline from the moment the moon touches sun's territory and from the moment it exits sun's territory, that lasts for about 4 hours 30 minutes. So roughly you should keep this thing in mind. It will stay about 4 hours 30 minutes. And all such things, during whether it is lunar eclipse or solar eclipse, you should pray, all those things you understand. You should not do any material things, but you should think about the spirituality and all. So the way to think about spirituality, the mantras can be different. But the thing is, this is a black shadow kind of thing. This is the time when it is like some covering is going to get changed. After Amavasya, we say it is a period of Shukl Paksh, something good is going to happen. And after the dark night, when the night is dark, you will not like to engage yourself in further darkness. As simple as that. So at the time of eclipse, around that, do some good and nice things. Helping others, any nice thing you can think of. Whatever nice karma you will do for yourself, with yourself, or for others will be good to your credit. Will be to your credit. All right. 4 hours 31 minutes. So is that the real time? No. Some people, they're smart. They'll say, no. That is the total time. But we understand that within that total time, there is an annual time or the impact when the moon is exactly in front of the sun, causing that annular ring of fire, that 1.5 hours or few minutes. Those are the critical. I don't deny that. But remember, we are talking about Jyotish. So I'll go one step further. I'll say, see, this is happening in Dhanishta, 4th pada. So we should get hold of Dhanishta because it is solar eclipse. The mindset is going to get impacted. Moon is going to get impacted. Yeah. When it comes to mind, we should not look at the planets or the sign, but the nakshatras, mind. Yeah. And it is happening in Dhanishta. So let us look at when Dhanishta actually started. It is not starting on 17th of February, but on 16th of February. Wow. So Dhanishta is beginning on 8:47 p.m. IST on 16th of February. And Dhanishta is ending on 9:16 p.m. on 17th of February. So my friend, that is the true timing. Between this time, 8:47 p.m. IST, 16th February, to 9:16 p.m. IST, 17th February, 2026. This is the time during which you should do your prayers, you should do good karmas, whatever. You can't avoid not eating or not sleeping or not talking. I mean, that's not practical. Do what is feasible. Good karmas, some prayers, whatever possible. But we are going to talk about and look at specific remedy for every ascendant that you know. All right. Now, one quick thing. People say we should not look at the solar eclipse with naked eyes. I mean, rightly so, because the sun, which is very, very bright otherwise, even then we find it difficult to look at the sun straight to straight, eye to eye. It becomes difficult. What if a portion is getting hidden by the moon? It has only a small outlet, like a ring of fire, from which it will try to release the entire energy. You can imagine the intensity of that firepower, that energy. It can blind people. So naked eyes, astronomically, scientifically, is not suitable to see. And second thing, from Jyotish perspective also, it is the alignment of the three big things, the earth, the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon, like the Shiva and the Parvati, the father and the mother, they are in perfect alignment. It is not the right time. It is not the right time. You may call it the soul or the mind. You may call it the father and the mother, the Shiva and the Parvati. When the parents are together, when the parents are talking deep, they're in deep meditation together, they are very close proximity. Why should the children look at the parents at that time? You understand that? It is a sin. It is a sin. So, ideally, we should not even try to disturb the union of the sun and the moon. We should not try. That is the idea. Even with the help of microscopes, telescopes, you should not try. Microscopes is a wrong selection. Telescopes, right? We should stay away. But that is the reason. All right. Now, without further ado, let us get into the ascendants. Aries ascendant. So my friend, will there be impact on your ascendant? Yes, you know that. We have discussed everything. Aries ascendant is one such ascendant, one of those ascendants which will have the impact of solar eclipse. If you're Aries ascendant person. On top of that, if you're falling in the following categories, one of the following categories or more, there will be much more impact. There can be much more impact. Which are those categories? I'm just summarizing specifically for your ascendant. If your moon or if your Lagna Lord Mars is in Aquarius sign, that's in your natal horoscope. Look at your natal birth chart, and see if your moon or Mars is in Aquarius, or if Mars is in Aries, your Lagna. All right. Though it is Lagna Lord and Lagna is auspicious, still it is getting, you know the stuff. If you are not able to understand, go to the previous portions and get the understanding. Or if you are running Mars Mahadasha or Antardasha, right? If you're born between 13th February or 15th March of any year, if your name begins with either G, S or Sh, then if you're falling in one or more of these categories, then the impact will be even further, even higher. All right. What will be the impact for you? It is happening in 11th house, that you understand, but 11th house, put it with Mars. Situation will change. Equation will change. So specific call-outs, specific takeaways. You can have big confrontation, argument, agitation with your friends. You think about it and try to find mitigation ways. All right. Second, can income impacted 11th house? No, my friend. Why? Because to our advantage, to your advantage, Mercury is not combust or not retrograde. Wow. Such a sigh of relief. Such a sigh of relief, my friend. All right. But there can be incorrect planning on your part pertaining to your finances. I'll explain in a while. And you may be a bit dejected because of your hopes. So which item I am heading towards? Sun is your fifth lord. Under solar eclipse, stay away from speculative activities. Stay away from stock market. You know the rallies of gold EFTs, silver EFTs, and they have come down recently, and they can come down specifically the day you take the shot and they'll try to exit. It can impact you because for you, speculation is not supporting you. Incorrect planning pertaining to your wealth, finances. See? So during solar eclipse, on and around solar eclipse, stay away, my friend. Such a nice visibility you have got. All right. There will be troubles, all these things, but the intensity is not that huge. It is not visible, barring the 5 places I mentioned earlier. So you can imagine the level of intensity. Now, specific remedy for you. My dear friend, you will have to listen to the spiritual discourses, whether of your guru or any other prominent figure whom you like to listen to, in person, preferable, or through social media, YouTube or audio, anywhere, TV. When do you need to listen to? Every single day between 14th of February to 20th of February. This is your specific remedy, my friend. All right? Taurus ascendant. So, as you know by now, through previous portions, that there is no direct impact for you, for solar eclipse. No direct impact. So, nothing to worry. No specific remedy required, that you understand that. However, if you're falling in one or more than one conditions. I've spoken condition earlier, but I'm summarizing specific to your Lagna. Then the impact can be there. Which are the conditions? So if, and this you have to look at your natal chart, natal horoscope, birth horoscope. If your moon or Venus is in the sign Aquarius, or if your Mars, natal Mars is in the sign Taurus, that is if your natal Mars is in your Lagna, or if you are running Mars Mahadasha or Antardasha, all right, or if you are born between 13th of February to 15th of March, any of these dates in any year, all right, or if your name begins with letter G, S or Sh. The details are in the previous section. Explanatory details are there. Then solar eclipse will impact you if you're falling in one of these conditions or more of these conditions. All right. So what can be the impact? You understand it is happening in Aquarius sign, which is 10th house, but add Mars with the 10th house. You know the reason why? Because Mars is a real problem maker during solar eclipse this time. All right. So there can be confrontation at your workplace, with your boss, with your colleagues. There can be confrontation. Some patients will go for a toss. Yes, keep that in mind. Specific takeaways. Yeah. And then there can be dilly-dallying in work submission. You know, you're a very strong person in terms of business delivery, but you will feel like, I'll do it later. Yeah, that's fine. There'll be no prioritization. You'll feel like, okay, that's fine. So your planning will go for a toss in this area. All right. Then Sun is your fourth lord, remember, which is going to get under solar eclipse. So there can be a likelihood that when you are getting troubled because of your workplace, you're carrying that problem back to your home. So my recommendation to you, the moment you're done with your work, switch off your office mobile, office phone if possible. If you have a one phone, try not to use phone. So you need to disassociate yourself between your family and work life. If you're a homemaker, still you need to disassociate. When you are sitting with children, stay with them, stay in the moment, stay in the time, present. When you're talking to your partner, stay with your partner. Don't keep worried about kitchen. If you're cooking something, finish with the cooking, done with the cooking, and then pay attention to other things. Don't do multitasking. Otherwise, things can impact you, your mindset. Remember, it's about the mindset. All right. And you also know troubles can be there for people who are getting impacted, whether by ascendant or by falling in one of these conditions, but the intensity will be lower. You know the reason why. It's all explained earlier. I'll not duplicate. All right. Now, specific remedy for you to be done between 14th February and 20th February on these days. What? You need to read a spiritual book. The condition, you need to read that book at home. Like you can't go to a temple and read. You can't be traveling and reading. If you are absolutely traveling on 24 hours, 48 hours, then there's no other option. In the hotel or where you're staying, that becomes your temporary home. Yeah? Even the flight can be your temporary home, or the airport can be your temporary home. That's fine. So you need to read a spiritual book like Bhagavad Gita or a Purana, Vishnu Purana, Shiv Mahapurana. Beautiful, beautiful remedy. Yeah, fantastic. So you got this. Gemini ascendant. Through my previous sessions, you know that Gemini ascendant is not going to get impacted directly by solar eclipse. So nothing to worry. You don't need to do any specific remedy as such. Yeah. But if you're falling in either one or more than one of the following conditions, then yes, you will get impacted. You know the conditions earlier, but I'm going to summarize this specifically for your ascendant, relevant to your ascendant, right? The first is if, and that you need to look at in your natal chart, birth horoscope. If moon or Mercury, if your natal moon or your natal Mercury is in the sign Aquarius, you are Gemini ascendant, check Aquarius sign if moon or Mercury are there. Then solar eclipse will impact you. Or if your natal Mars is in your Lagna, that is in Gemini, all right? Or if you are running Mars Mahadasha or Antardasha. Or if you're born between 13th of February to 15th of March, any of these dates, 13th of February to 15th of March, any of the year. Or if your name begins with G, S or Sh. If you fall in any of these conditions, then yes, solar eclipse will impact you. Now let's look at specifically the impact, key takeaways, specific takeaways. It is happening in 9th house, but look at 9th house plus Mars. Because Mars is the ultimate planet which is going to cause problems during solar eclipse. And now we know the reason why. There can be difference of opinion, confrontation with elders, including your father. So now that you know, try to avoid that, try to stay away from that position, try to go away, speak less, try to mitigate, getting that visibility. All right. There can be incorrect planning on your part pertaining to your future. Like you can take an incorrect decision, or incorrect planning can be in the area of buying a property, buying a house, buying a car, foreign settlement, changing a job, changing your work, changing your place. So be very, very cautious during this period. All right. Sun is your third lord. So my friend, stay away from any kind of arguments, because your third lord is going to be under solar eclipse. Right? All right. But the interesting thing is that the good thing in your case is that the mighty Jupiter is sitting in your Lagna, but retrograde. So while it will have its say by aspecting the 9th house where the entire situation is unfolding, still, because it is retrograde, the influence of the impact can be, you cannot really guarantee. Therefore, my recommendation to go ahead with the remedy also, which I'm going to share with you shortly. But other than that, impact will be there in these areas specifically. The intensity will be limited, as it is not going to be visible in majority of the world, barring 5-6 locations which I mentioned earlier. So, and for other reasons also discussed earlier, intensity will be limited. Nonetheless, the remedy which you have to do during 14th of February till 20th of February, right? That is, listen to some spiritual discourse from your guru or from somebody else you like to listen to in person, or through social media or any other platform you prefer. But that is really important in your case. All right. Cancer ascendant. So my friend, as you know by now through earlier discussions, that you are not going to get directly impacted by solar eclipse. So there's nothing to worry. And there's no need to do any specific remedy on your part, right? But if you're falling in either one or more of the following categories, then yes, there will be impact of solar eclipse on you. And which are those conditions? I've explained that earlier, but now here in your ascendant, I'm summarizing for your ascendant specifically, right? So you need to look at your natal horoscope, birth chart, and see if your natal moon is in the sign Aquarius, then you will be impacted by the solar eclipse. Or if Mars, your natal Mars, is in the sign Cancer, that's in your Lagna. Or if you are running Mars Mahadasha or Antardasha. Or if you are born between 13th of February to 15th of March, in any of these dates, in any year. Or if your name begins with alphabets letter G, S or Sh. Explanation are in the previous sessions, discussion, earlier segments. If you are falling in one or more of such categories, then yes, you will be impacted by solar eclipse. All right. Now let us look at the impact, specific impact, key takeaways. It's happening in 8th house for you, but we'll look at 8th house in conjunction with the kingmaker, Mars, because that is the key player for this solar eclipse, which will bring the maximum influence, adverse influence, so to say. You know the reason why? All right. So there can be some relationship challenges in your case because of some hidden, some secret activities which can lead to the confrontation. This will take place, my friend. Be cautious. Second, there can be some incorrect planning related to your lifestyle. For example, you may go ahead with some beauty products to transform yourself, as an example. So planning can go haywire pertaining to your lifestyle, pertaining to your choices. Be very mindful. All right. Now, Sun is your second lord and will be under solar eclipse. So My strong recommendation, speak only what is necessary. Otherwise, your speech can agitate others. Unless it is completely truth, because sun only likes the truth. When sun is getting irritated under solar eclipse, being your second lord of speech, and if you speak something which is not transparent enough, sun is not going to like it. Sun will punish you. We call sun the Krura Graha, can give strong punishment, severe punishment, like a strict father. Sun can punish really strictly if it is under solar eclipse. So speak bare minimum, unless you are speaking absolutely transparent. All right. And yes, you have to share only with whom you trust. Otherwise, things can backfire during this period. Right. Now, there will be troubles, but as eclipse is not visible in India, North America, Europe, South America bearing 2 locations, Africa bearing 3 locations, as I mentioned earlier, Australia, New Zealand, not visible. So the impact will be milder to that extent because of some other reasons also discussed earlier, right? You know that. Still, you have to do a remedy between 14th of February till 20th of February. And what is that remedy specific to you? See, listen to any spiritual or devotional bhajan, song. Whatever you like. For example, one of the favorite songs which I'm listening nowadays is Jubin Nautiyal. Meri maa ke barabar koi nahi. I just love that song. I just love it. Or one of my other favorite songs is Achyutam Keshavam. I love these songs. I like to listen to when I'm driving, So you can listen to any of the spiritual or devotional songs of your choice. Okay? All right. Leo ascendant. So my friend, you know through the previous discussions that there will be impact of solar eclipse on Leo ascendant because it is exactly opposite to the Aquarius ascendant. Right? We discussed that earlier in detail. Now, on top of that, if you are falling in either one of the or more of the following conditions, the impact will be multiplied. We know the conditions also, but I'm summarizing the conditions here again, which are specific to your ascendant, Leo. All right. So if this you need to look at in your natal chart, birth horoscope. If your moon or sun are in Aquarius, your natal moon or natal sun are in Aquarius. Or if your natal Mars is in your Lagna, Leo. Or if you are running Mars Mahadasha or Antardasha. Or if you are born between 13th of February to 15th of March in any of these dates in any year. Or if your name begins with either G, S or Sh. For details, refer the previous sections. If you fall in one or more of such conditions, then yes, solar eclipse is going to further impact you. The impact will be multiplied. Right? Now it is happening in 7th house for you, Aquarius sign. But we will not look at 7th house solely, but in conjunction with Mars. Because the entire thing is happening by Mars, the impact, the adverse impact, so to say, will come from Mars for the reason we understand that, right? So be very, very cautious when you talk to your partner. There can be some confrontation. It can go to the level of separation also. So avoid any confrontation in the first place. Be away from that. Either stay quiet, just move away from that place and come back after a while. Try to just avoid any confrontation. It will not work out in any of your favor. So try to avoid. Why to unnecessarily get into that problem when you know it can come? All right. The second, there can be incorrect planning pertaining to your business. Or in other words, you may like to tend to spend a lot to augment your social status. You'll feel like, no, I need to present myself in certain dignity. I need to enhance my social status. Fine. Let this period pass by. There's a whole life waiting for you for that. All right. Now, Sun is your first lord. Getting into solar eclipse, reputation will become the key for you. Therefore, my friend, if you are thinking to get into a relationship, stay away. If you are thinking, such a nice person, beautiful, attractive, charming, I should get into a date with you, you can very well get into a trap. You're not going to meet a person you come across, or you came across any beautiful, attractive person online, and the person is calling you to at her or his place. Do not go. Trap. You will get into a trap because your reputation can take a severe hit. You're planning to go to, Bangla walking street Phuket. Hold on. Let this period pass by. You can get impacted. Your people at home back, they'll get to know of these ventures. So protect yourself. Protect your reputation. All right. Now, the intensity level we've discussed it all so far. It is not going to be visible in most of the world places, barring 5 places. So intensity for this reason, visibility and for other reasons will be mild in this case. Still, a remedy which you must do because you are Leo ascendant. You are getting impacted directly. So the remedy is relevant from 14th of February till 20th of February. You have to do every day Om Namah Shivaya. Do it, my friend. All right? Virgo Lagna, my friend, as you know by now that there is no direct impact of solar eclipse, upcoming solar eclipse on 17th February 2026 for your ascendant. You know that. There's nothing to worry as such, and you don't need to do any specific remedies. So can we conclude and just let it go? Hold on. Also know that if you're falling in either one or more of the following conditions, then yes, even you can get under the influence of solar eclipse. You know those conditions also, but for your benefit, I'm summarizing all the conditions specifically for your ascendant. So look at your natal horoscope, birth chart, and see if in your natal chart, if Moon or Mercury, either one or both, are in the sign Aquarius, all right? Or if your natal Mars is in your Lagna, that is Virgo, or if you are running Mars Mahadasha or Antardasha, you may call it Dasha Bhukti. Or if you're born between 13th February to 15th March, between these dates, any of these dates, in any year, regardless of the year. Or if your name begins with letter G, S or Sh. Explain the letters with examples of names earlier. Refer earlier sections, get the understanding. If you're falling in either one or more of such conditions, then yes, even if you are a Virgo Lagna person, still you will be impacted by upcoming solar eclipse. All right. And now, what will be the impact? Specific impact, key takeaways. It is going to take place in 6th house for you, that you understand. But add Mars. Why? You know that, earlier discussion. Because Mars is the ultimate problem creator in this solar eclipse, right? So there can be a huge difference of opinion or confrontation among your friends, your wider network. So be mindful of that. Don't say anything which can hurt others, and try to avoid the conflict if it is from your side. But the challenge is it will come from somebody else's side. That is the problem which you can't avoid. So, but with this visibility, you can try to mitigate, try to manage, right? So keep an eye on that, close eye on that. Now, there can also be an incorrect planning in the area of your food selections. So you may like to influence or incline more towards long drinking sessions. It is not good for liver, that we know. Health is that one thing. But, junk food, late nights, junk food, a lot of such items that can cause problem with your digestive system. Keep that in mind. So you need to take more of water. That is very important. And specifically, Sun is your 12th lord and going to be impacted as in solar eclipse. So my friend, I will strongly recommend you to stay away from late night parties, like late night movies. If you're fond of going for a movie, avoid the last show. Then automatically your junk food, popcorn, chocolates, coffee, burgers, sandwiches, all such intake will be reduced in theater. Avoid late night parties. Your drink will get curtailed. So that is very important. See, 12th house, if you not try to control, it can go beyond your influence. It can actually start to hit you more, right? Fair enough. And we also know that there will be troubles, but because the visibility of the solar eclipse is not in the majority of the places in the world, barring 5 places. So to that extent, a couple of other points which we discussed earlier, impact is going to be mild. Nonetheless, you need to do a remedy, which you will do from 14th of February till 20th of February. And what will be the remedy? At night, you will spend at least 2 minutes. Best if you can do for 5 minutes. At least 2 minutes, you will close your eyes and do prayers. The condition is the eyes have to be closed and it has to be in one go. Like you close your eyes and suddenly a message came. Ting, ting, some message pops up and you looked at the phone. That's not the thing, my friend. In one go, without getting distracted, ideally 5 minutes, at least 2 minutes. You may also call it meditation. But people who are not aware about meditation, they are not initiated, they don't know the techniques. So I'm saying, close your eyes and do whatever prayer you want to do and see the magic. Libra ascendant. So my friend, through earlier discussion, you know that for Libra ascendant, there is no direct impact or influence of solar eclipse on your ascendant. So you should feel relaxed, right? There's no need for you to do any specific remedy. Are we concluding? Hold on. But you are also aware of some other conditions. So if you fall in one or more of such conditions, then yes, you too can get impacted, despite being a Libra-like person. And which are those conditions? Let me summarize it specifically, tailor-made for your ascendant. Will that be helpful? All right. So look at your birth horoscope or natal chart and see if your natal moon or natal Venus, either one or both, are in Aquarius sign in your natal horoscope. Or if your natal Mars is in your Lagna, Libra. Or if you are running Mars Mahadasha or Antardasha. Or if you are born between 13th of February to 15th of March, any of these dates, regardless of the year of birth. Or if your name begins with the letter G, S or Sh. I have given examples of these letters. Go to the earlier sessions. All right. Then if you fall in one or more of such conditions, then yes, solar eclipse will impact you. And what will be the impact? Specific takeaways. You know that it is going to take place in 5th house Aquarius for you. But see, with 5th house you add Mars, because that Mars for this solar eclipse is the problem creator. We know the reason why, right? So there can be a difference of opinion with your family members, specifically with your kids. They will not like to listen to your views. You'll tell them to study more, they'll like to play more, they'll like to spend more time in watching video games, watching cricket matches. You will be bothered about their company at college or school, the grading, the marks, the way they are not very serious about their career. Something, they're married and they're not having a good time at the married place, or vice versa. There will be problems, clashes, confrontation with your family members, especially with your children. All right, so try to mitigate that beforehand. All right. Second, there can be incorrect planning on your part with regard to your speculative nature of things. So stay far, far away from the stock market. Do not get influenced by the rising prices of silver, gold, commodities. Copper is down anyways. Stay away from these rallies. The way they are going fast, in one fraction of time, it can come down. See, market can go up and can come down, but it impacts people in a different way. If you are an ETF person, right, and you know that tomorrow market can come down, and morning you can put the bid, you can try to exit the market. But my friend, your deal will get closed at the NAV price at the end of the day. That's where this can bite you. So stay away from the market. All right. Sun is your 11th lord and will be under solar eclipse. So my recommendation to you, pay a close heed on the company. It's the company which can pull you to the speculative things. It is the company which can put some ideas in your head, which can be a cause of the confrontation with your family members and kids. So think on your own. Make decisions on your own for yourself. Those will be the right decisions. Don't be under any influence of a wrong company. Okay. And you also know that intensity of this solar eclipse will be limited because of the visibility, limited to 5 locations and couple of other things. We have discussed it all in detail. And the remedy specific for your ascendant, which you will do from 14th of February to 20th of February, every single day. Basically, you need to go to a temple and pray there. Physically, you have to go to a temple every day. Physically. Ideally, before sunrise, if you can manage. If you cannot manage because of whatever reason, then go during the day, at least once. One is enough, yeah. Go there, pray, come back. All right? Scorpio Lagna, my friend. So, through the previous discussions, you understand that there can be impact on Scorpio Lagna of the upcoming solar eclipse because it is falling in one of the conditions because of Mars being the kingmaker during this time. We discussed it all. So yes, for you, there will be impact of solar eclipse. On top of that, if you are falling in few conditions which have been discussed earlier, one or more of such conditions, then yes, the intensity of the impact will be higher. Shall I summarize? Tailor-made for your ascendant? Yes, let me do that. So look at your natal chart, birth horoscope, and see if your natal moon or natal Mars are in the sign Aquarius, or if your natal Mars is in the sign Scorpio. All right? Or if you are running Mars Mahadasha or Antardasha, or if you are born between 13th of February to 15th of March, any of these dates regardless of the birth year. Or if your name begins with letters G, S, Sh. I've given examples for these letters with names in the previous sections already. Okay? If you're falling in one of these conditions also, on top of that you are Scorpio Lagna, my dear friend, it is going to impact you in a big way. Right? So what can be the specific areas to bother, to look for, to be cautious about? See, it will be impacting in your 4th house. But let us analyze 4th house with Mars, because that is the ultimate thing. You know, Risa, you know that. So there will be some sort of problems with your family members, specifically with your mother. There can be some confrontation, difference of opinion. And also the problems can be around some property disputes, some property matters. Purchase of property, where to purchase, what price to purchase, from whom to purchase, or division of properties. Some such things will hit you. So be very, very cautious right from beginning, right from now. All right. Now, there can be some incorrect planning on your part pertaining to your house, your vehicle purchase, sale, decision when you are going to buy, the kind of house or vehicle you plan to buy, the location, the loan amount, the EMI tenure, from where you are taking the loan, the brokerage you are engaging. So I will recommend you to stay away from such things during this period. The period we have discussed, the true period, the timeline, we have all discussed earlier. Go through that. Stay away. Otherwise, your planning cannot be helpful to you. Okay? You know, see, Sun is your 10th lord, right? And so many things are getting unfolded at your home. Unless you segregate your home problem with your work, if you take your home problem to your work, it will bite you at work also. So unless you segregate between your work and home, you will not be at peace at your workplace also. So try to switch off. Not easy, not easy. But you have to make a conscious attempt to do that. Switch off the moment you enter your work zone. Try to focus at your workplace so that you safeguard at least at your workplace. All right. And you also know that the problems are going to be there, but the intensity of problems will not be that much. We have discussed it all, why it is an annular, and then about the visibility limited to 5 places. So, you know all that drill, right? But nonetheless, the remedy which you will do from 14th of February till 20th of February, every single day, you are going to read a spiritual book like Bhagavad Gita, like a Puran, Shiv Mahapuran, Vishnu Puran. How nice. All right. Sagittarius ascendant. My friend, you know by now that there is no direct influence of solar eclipse for Sagittarius ascendant. That gives a sigh of relief. Yeah, rightly so. So you need not worry, and you are not required to do a specific remedy. Am I concluding for you? No, my friend. You also know that if you are a Sagittarius ascendant, that's great. But if you are falling in one or more of the following categories, then yes, solar eclipse can impact you. You know the categories, that's fine, but let me tailor-made those categories specific to Sagittarius ascendant. That will be like delightful. La? Okay. So if look at your natal chart, birth horoscope. If your natal moon or natal Jupiter, either both or either one of these, are in Aquarius sign in your birth chart, or if your natal Mars is in your Lagna, Sagittarius, or if you are running Mars Mahadasha or Antardasha, or if you're born between 13th of February to 15th of March, any of these dates, regardless of the birth year, or if your birth name begins with the letters G, S, or Sh. I have given examples of these letters with names for easy understanding. Please go to the earlier sessions. If you're falling in either one or more of these categories, then yes, despite being a Sagittarius ascendant person, you will be impacted by the upcoming solar eclipse. All right. Impact, specific areas, key takeaways. It is third house for you, Aquarius sign. But we have to look at the third house in conjunction with Mars, because for this solar eclipse, the planet which is going to trouble more is Mars. So there will be confrontation between you and your siblings. There can be difference of opinion between you and your partner, specifically with whom you are dating, right? Such problems can be there in larger proportion. All right. And there can be some incorrect choices in your case. Incorrect planning pertaining to your choices, to be more specific. For example, you may feel like going to Bangla Walking Street, Phuket, and just to enjoy, have fun. Now, this is fine as far as you think it is fine, but the planning in this case can go for a toss. So either the planning, the scheduling will not help you, or the person you intend to meet, you fix up the meeting, that person can turn out to be lady boy, just calling out few shots. So the way you're thinking may not go well with your planning, or you are going without disclosing it to certain people back at your native place. They can get to know. The planning may not support you. Not a nice karmas anyways. Without getting into Gyan, big motherly statement, you like to do you do whatever you like to do? That's great. The thing is, during this solar eclipse period, it will not help you. All right. Now, because Sun is your ninth lord, and Sun will be under solar eclipse. So, ninth, Sun, both are directing, indicating towards your father. Your father may need you, my friend. Your father will need you. And trust me, if you be closer to your father during this time, not only he will be very happy, but the kind of wisdom, kind of gyan, kind of some nice thing about life he will share with you that can really change your life. You get the drift. And also, through the previous discussions that, see, the impact will be there in these areas specifically, but because the visibility of solar eclipse is limited to 5-6 places, not visible in India and a couple of other places, most of the places in the world. And also it is angular, you know all these things. So the impact will be mild. Nonetheless, you will do remedy during 14th of February till 20th of February every single day. You will listen to some spiritual discourse from your guru, those who are initiated or have some guru, otherwise from any person of wisdom, right? In person or through social media, whatever way you like, that will be of immense benefit to you. And that person of wisdom can very well be your father as well. All right, best wishes. Capricorn ascendant. So my friend, by now you understand that solar eclipse is not going to impact your ascendant directly. And that's a great news. And shouldn't worry that much, and there is no need for you to do any specific remedies. But we can't conclude here, because you are also aware about few of the other conditions, that if you're falling in one of those conditions, then yes, solar eclipse can impact you. Which are those conditions? I have tailor-made those conditions specific to your ascendant. So look at your birth chart, natal horoscope, and see if in your birth chart, if moon or Saturn, your natal moon or natal Saturn are in Aquarius, one or both. All right. Or if your natal Mars is in Capricorn, or if you are running Mars Mahadasha or Mars Antardasha, or if you are born between 13th of February to 15th of March, any of these dates, regardless of the birth year, or if your birth name begins with letter either G or S or Sh. I've given examples of names for these letters in earlier sections. Go and watch that. If you fall in either one or more of these conditions, then yes, though you are a Capricorn ascendant person, still you will be influenced adversely by the upcoming solar eclipse. All right. Where will be the impact? What are the specific key takeaways? So the impact for you will be in second house, you know that. But we have to attach Mars with the second house. Though Mars is in your Lagna, sitting in Capricorn, transit Mars. Because you know why Mars, you know all that. All right. So this will lead to confrontation between you and your family members, specifically pertaining to management of funds. They will feel like going for a trip, foreign trip, some going to some weekend trips, some expenditure. The need of expenditure will be much more from your family sides. And you will feel like being cautious, but you also like to keep them happy. So there'll be a difficult situation for you to manage. That may lead to confrontation, right? The second thing, there can be some incorrect planning at your end, on your part, with regard to management of your corpus, your wealth. So, if you are willing to invest in stock market, be very, very careful. Don't be under the influence of this upcoming rally of gold and silver ETF. No. Not easy to exit. Unless you have a brokerage account, you cannot exit the moment you want to exit. It will be an NAV price at the end of the day. There can be exit load if you exit with it between first 7 days. And also, one major decision from Trump's side, Trump has given a statement. India has agreed not to buy Russian oil. Has India said the similar statement? What if India says, no, we have not made such commitment? Trump, you never know, can again raise the tariff from 18% to 50% or even 60%. You never know. Very unpredictable. Any such decision can take the ETF very high, because the Nifty will crash or the stock market can come down. Commodity price will go up. Any other stability, it can, very well the Federal Reserve can, depending on the policies, I'm not getting into that sector. So apologies if you feel like that. My point is, we should be very, very careful with the stock market. At this point in time, your planning may not support you. All right. Also, Sun is your 8th lord, and Sun will be under solar eclipse, under eclipse. So this is actually turning out to be the best time for you to understand the deeper meaning of life. It is not negative. Because when Sun is under eclipse, and Sun is a very spiritual planet, it is your 8th lord. So at that time, Sun is in kind of a meditative mood. And if you are in that mood, you are in sync with the Sun. And that is the time when Sun can give you with both hands. Because when Sun will see is, okay, this Sun, this daughter of mine is really doing the thing which is justifiable. Nice and right karmas. Wow. Let me bless this soul. Sun is the soul, right? Fantastic. So the blessings will come at the soul level. And that happens when you get to the soul level, when you die while living. That happens when you are in meditation. When you reach beyond the throat chakra and Vishuddhi chakra to the Sahasrara chakra and meet your guru inside, meet that vibration inside. All right. And coming to Bhul Hoga again, though the eclipse will be there will be problems, but you know that it is annular, it is, visibility is limited to 5 places across the globe. So, all that drift, the impact will be mild. All right. And a remedy which you have to do during 14th of February to 20th of February, right? You need to chant a spiritual book. Chant. Be very, very watchful what I say. Chant. I'm not saying you to read or write. Chant a spiritual book. Nice hymns or some shlokas, some couplets. It could be Bhagavad Gita, it could be Shiv Mahapuran, Vishnu Puran, whatever you like. All right. Aquarius ascendant, my friend. That's the place where the entire storyline, entire play is going to get unfolded. That's your Lagna. That's your Lagna, my friend. So there'll be a lot of things coming into your life and moving away from you. Be ready for that. It's like fasten your seatbelt. The flight is about to take off. That's what is going to happen with your life. But the good thing, this is annular. The visibility of this eclipse is limited to 5 places. We've discussed it all in earlier sections, so the impact will not be that mild. But what if, in addition to being an Aquarius Lagna, you're also falling in either one or more of the following conditions? Hey, then the impact can be multiplied. Which are those conditions? You know that already, but I am kind of putting it across again, specific for your ascendant. So look at your birth chart, natal horoscope. If in your natal horoscope, your natal moon or natal Saturn are in your Lagna, all right? Or even if your natal Mars in your Lagna, Aquarius, or if you are running Mars Mahadasha or Antardasha, or if your birthday is between 13th February to 15th March, any of these dates, regardless of your birth year, or if your name begins with the letter either G or S or Sh. I have given examples of these names in my earlier sections, refer that. So if in addition to being an Aquarius ascendant person, any of these points are also relevant for you, then yes, the impact will be multiplied. Which are areas, specific takeaways for your impact? It will be in your Lagna. But please look at the impact from the perspective of first house plus Mars. Because Mars is that planet which is going to cause the majority of impact in this solar eclipse. You know the reason? Discussed it all. So, first of all, there will be some clashes, confrontation, difference of opinion between you and your partner. Whether you're married, not married. With your ex-partner, highly likely. Person with whom you're dating, yes. You're married, your spouse, yes. On top of that, there will be clashes within yourself. You will fight against your own beliefs, self-belief. You will challenge your self-beliefs. It is a mindset which will be impacted during this solar eclipse. And first house is about you, your entire personality. You will start to doubt on your decision making. You start to doubt on your intelligence. All right? And there can be incorrect planning on your part pertaining to your reputation aspect. So if you feel, let's say, I need to buy such expensive shirt, it will enhance my reputation. Not necessary. Why are you incurring money? Think twice. Do what is important. Discuss with somebody. That's the time when people, a person on whom you trust, discuss and then make the important decisions. Because your planning may not support you during this period. All right? And let me also forewarn you about the upcoming business dealings. My strong recommendation is to document everything. Anything and everything pertaining to any dealings. Where the documented thing is available, document that. In email, in office, use email more than the phone calls. Document everything. Even the communicator, the chat history, basis your organization policy can get evaporated. Take the screenshots or use emails. It will help you. And avoid any kind of arguments with your client. Sun is your seventh lord. It will be in eclipse. Avoid any kind of arguments with your partner. That will help you. All right. And the specific remedy which you have to do, which you will do from 14th of February till 20th of February, every single day, you have to do, my friend. Om Namah Shivaya. This is your secret to safeguard yourself. Okay? Pisces ascendant. So my friend, by now you know that upcoming solar eclipse is not going to impact your ascendant directly. Wow. Nothing to worry. So no need to do any specific remedy. Shall we call it a day? Hold on. You also are aware now that there are more than one conditions, and if you're falling in one such condition, then yes, you will get influenced by the upcoming solar eclipse. And here I am summarizing those conditions specific for your ascendant. So pick up your natal horoscope, birth chart, and see if in your natal horoscope, if your natal moon or natal Jupiter, either one or both, they are in the sign Aquarius. Or if natal Mars is in your Lagna, Pisces. Or if you are running Mars Mahadasha or Mars Antardasha. Or if you're born between 13th of March, if you're born between 13th of February to 15th of March, any of these dates, regardless of the birth year. Or if your name begins with the letter either G or S or Sh. I've given the example names for these letters in the earlier sections. Refer that. So if you are Pisces Lagna, but if you're falling in either one or more of such conditions, then yes, solar eclipse will impact you. Now, as you know, the impact is falling in Aquarius sign in 12th house for you. But look at this in collaboration with Mars, 12th house and Mars. Because in this solar eclipse, it is the planet Mars which is going to cause major havoc. You know the reason why, explained everything earlier. So there can be confrontation between you and your partners over financial issues. Financial issues, let me elaborate. Your partner may feel like going abroad, foreign trip. Your family members can feel like taking admission in foreign universities. The partner is at a foreign location and calling you to go and stay with her or him, or call them back to your place where you are living. Such confrontation will be there, pertaining to travel, pertaining to, in all these areas, the money will be included as well. Remember that, because Mercury is sitting in Aquarius. Though not retrograde, no combust, that is good. So you will not waste your money. You will think. But the challenge, there can be incorrect planning pertaining to your foreign settlement. You may take a call, I will accept this job offer and I will relocate to this place. Think twice, my friend. The planning which you are doing it now, you will not hold on to your decisions after the solar eclipse, specifically after 15th March. So hold your decision if possible for you. Otherwise, have a discussion with somebody whom you trust. Take double, triple opinion before taking a very, very big step ahead in your life. Then Sun is your sixth lord, will be under eclipse. Pay very close attention on your diet. What food you take. Very important. Otherwise, it can impact your health. Remember, I am more concerned about your mental health, and that is also relevant with your food. Food is also related to not only the physical food, but the kind of words, the company, people are talking to you. So what is getting inside your head? The words are also food in this regard. So pay close attention to every kind of food, every kind of intake, the energy which you are imbibing in yourself. All right. And see, Saturn is also sitting, transit Saturn in your Lagna, in Maranasthana. So that can further help your moon to be further depressive. It can try to get into depressing zone. Let's not be optimistic. Optimism is for somebody else. Hey, if you are knowing all these things now, you can make yourself mentally prepared. Start reading some self-help books. Start getting up early. Start getting into the physical fitness regime. Keep yourself physically and mentally active, rejuvenated with good lifestyle, good food choices, good people choices. Right? All right. But on top of that, you know that problems are there, but the impact, the intensity of impact is also limited. Explained it everything because of annular solar eclipse and because the visibility limited to being 5 places. So you know that. In case of any doubt, go to the previous sections. Still, you need to do a remedy between 14th of February to 20th of February. This is very important for you. So what you have to do, close your eyes, sit in meditation. Those who know the meditation, those who are initiated, those who have a guru, those who understand the technique. Otherwise, close your eyes. Closing eyes, very important, and do any kind of prayers. During that time, you are trying to be closer to the Almighty. And remember, during solar eclipse, the sun is also in sort of a deep meditation. Sun is contemplating what is happening with me. Why does it happen with me now and then, every 6 months? So when sun sees somebody doing meditation in that kind of mindset, sun can really bless you and take away all the problems, all the blemishes from your life. Right? It is the sun who is the giver. Yeah. So do it, my friend. Best wishes. And with this, I'll put an end to the video. I'll see you soon in some other video. Till then, Om Namah Shivaya.